I was actually living in Mexico when I was trying to fix my legal status. I was so severely depressed.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Alannized, and this is Noche De Pendejadas. La semana pasada, you guys, les traímos un invitado chingón, y esta semana les traigo a una mujer chingona. Please help me welcome my guest tonight, Yasmin BeautyyBird. Hello.
Hi.
¿Cómo estás? First of all, how was traffic?
It was a little bad, but thankfully I'm here now.
Aquí estamos, you guys. We've been planning this for not too long, actually.
No.
I feel like I always say, like, we've been planning this for too long, but realistically, it's only been a week.
Yeah.
Pero aquí estamos, you guys. Me la traje hoy para todos ustedes que no la conocen. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to her para que ella les diga un poquito más de quién es y qué hace.
Hi everyone, mi nombre es Yasmin, also known as BeautyyBird to my beauties. I am the founder and CEO of Birdy Lashes, and I'm a mother of 2 beautiful daughters and wife to my husband Valentin.
Period, eyes. You vino preparada. She's like, you want my bibliography?
I'm so used to I know,
That's
I'm so
good,
used to the
because
interviews.
normally people are like, I don't know who the fuck I am, pero ella sí sabe quién es, amigas. Hoy la traje, you guys, porque hoy quiero saber un poquito más de Yasmin. I've been knowing you for quite some time.
Yeah,
You've
for
been in
years.
the same industry as me por muchos años. Yo hoy quiero saber un poquito más de ella as a person. If I want to know chisme, if I want to know any of that, I can just go on social media y encontrarlo. Pero hoy me quiero sentar con ella para platicar. I want to know how you were as a child. How was Yasmin growing up?
So for those of you that don't know, I was actually born in Mexico, in Amatepec, Estado de Mexico, to be exact. And honestly, at first, I want to say the first year and a half, it was pretty sad for me because I grew up, you could say, like homeless in un rancho. I didn't even have that privilege of having like diapers or like
shit.
new clothes or none of that. Like we were really poor, honestly. So it wasn't until I turned a year and a half that my parents decided to come to the United States, and that's when, you know, we all migrated here. For the most part, I was such a good girl. Like if you ask my mom, she will tell you that I was such a smart, brilliant, bien portadita y todo.
She's like intelligent.
No, yeah, because she would always tell me, like, you learn how to walk fast, you learn how to talk fast, you learn how to do all these things fast. Yeah, at an early age. And she was telling me that not only that, but I siempre le hacía caso. And I do remember this, like, you know, being bien portada, because I was like scared of my mom, you know, like, bitch.
You know what's crazy? Cuando yo te miro, yo sí te miro así.
Yeah.
Yo la miro como, oh my God, la Yasmin no quebra ni un pinche plato. Like, you really do give off that, like, bien portadita vibe.
No, yeah. But it wasn't until I got to high school.
Oh, shit, okay.
Dije, aquí ya.
She's like, de aquí ya no soy.
Aquí ya no soy. A mí me vale madre todo ahora. No, that's when I started actually, like, misbehaving, you could say,
Oh,
or
shit,
not like haciéndole caso a mi mamá. I started having like a boyfriend behind her back and things like that.
What do you feel like changed for you in high school?
I feel like everyone siempre me pintaba así como que, oh, tú eres la friend that, you know, can't go out, you can't put makeup on, you can't dress a certain way. And I got tired of being that person because at the end of the day, I felt like I wasn't being like really who I was. And I was just, you know, trying to be this good girl just to make my parents happy and keep everyone happy, you know. And at the end, I was like, no, I want to wear makeup. I want to dress how I want to and this and that. And then I started exploring, you know, dating, you know, and everything. So
And you're like, and I loved it.
Yeah.
How was it like for your parents cuando hiciste la transición de una niña bien portadita, una niña bien, como tú dijiste ahorita, a una niña, como se puede decir, rebelde? ¿Cómo fue esa transición para tus parents?
It was bad. I remember in that period, me and my mom kind of stopped talking. And I know a lot of people, it might come as a shocker because my mom is literally like my best friend. Like we get along so well. Everybody is always like talking about like, oh my God, I love the relationship you have with your mom. But it wasn't until I started como revelándome que we stopped talking for a period. We actually hated each other. We didn't want to talk to each other. We didn't want to see each other. It was actually bad. It was really bad on my parents. And I felt like at the same time we kind of needed that because it made our bond even stronger to what it is now. But it wasn't always like roses and butterflies.
Así siempre pasa. Yo pienso que uno de padre se le olvida que también fueron rebeldes, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, ¿qué le está pasando a mi hija? Pues lo que también te pasó a ti me está pasando ahorita a mí. But, you know, so you go into high school, you start rebelling yourself, te empiezas a tener novios. And, ¿cómo fuiste en high school? ¿Eras peleonera? ¿Eras todavía rebelde pero bien portada? ¿Cómo fuiste?
No, for the most part, I was a chill girl. Like, nunca tuve problemas with nobody, nothing. Era como tu chava, like cualquier otra. Just simple. It was just the fact that I started now dating. I started now wearing makeup, not listening to my parents, wanting to go out, ditching school, you know, like things like that. Things that, you know, the parents are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing this, you know? But for the most part, as a person, I feel like I was just your average girl from high school.
So, no sé si ustedes saben, you guys, pero el mes que viene cumples 10 años uploading to YouTube. You uploaded your first video November 19, 2012.
Yes.
That's a long time, you guys. 10 años de estar creando videos. That's a long time. How do you feel like, 10 years of your life creating content? ¿Cómo te sientes tú?
Honestly, I look back and I'm like, damn, it just feels like literally it was yesterday when I uploaded my first YouTube video, wanting to just connect with people, you know. But I feel so happy that it's been 10 years and I haven't fallen off the map. Literally.
That's una pregunta que le tengo ahorita, you guys. Lo que quiero saber ahorita, ¿en qué momento, en ese tiempo, hace casi 10 años, tú dijiste, ¿sabes qué? Voy a agarrar una pinche cámara, un teléfono, or a brick, whatever you were filming on, and you're gonna film a video and post it online. What was your thought process? ¿Qué en ese momento tú estabas sintiendo to be like, I want to do this?
A lot of people don't know this maybe, but you know, my beauties that follow me on my channel know that I started this because por desesperación to try and connect with people, to try and have that moment of like talking and feeling like a normal girl because of the situation that I was in. So those that don't know, when I started my YouTube channel, I was actually living in Mexico when I was trying to fix my legal status. I was so severely depressed with major anxiety, like literally up at 3 a.m, crying my eyes out, like couldn't even breathe. I felt like I was dying or something. I just needed an escape. And I knew that makeup was always my escape because it was something that I was just good at. It just came naturally to me. And my mom had always told me, like, you know, you should be a makeup artist, or you should do something with makeup because you're really good at it. Se te da el don. And it was in that moment that I was like looking at girls on YouTube. Like, do you remember Dulce Candy? Yeah, she was like a huge idol for me when it came to YouTube. But, you know, I was watching her and I just thought to myself, I can do this. Like, I literally have nothing to do. And this can be my escape. Maybe this can be like a way for me to like connect with people online, even if nobody watches me, but like I felt like, you know, I could do something.
You're like, I'll send the video to my mom and she can watch it.
Because my mom was actually the one that encouraged me, like, okay, pues like yo te mando todo el maquillaje, I'll send you my little red camera and you can start filming your YouTube videos.
You went to Mexico alone?
Yeah, I was living by myself.
Oh shit.
So my parents had gotten deported and I had a deportation, and ya ellos ya los habían sacado. And something traumatizing that also kind of helped change the dynamic between my mom and my dad was that they got deported. So it brought us closer and really like put everything into perspective of like family is important. It's everything. And we shouldn't take them for granted. We shouldn't be fighting about over stupid shit or things like that. And so it wasn't in that moment that I knew I had a deportation, and once I turned 18, that I knew I needed to leave the country because I was fearing for my life that they were going to come one day, take me out. And then when they take me out, it's like, where do I go? What do I do, you know? So that's why I wasn't living in Mexico by myself, because I was just fearing for the deportation.
So, yeah, you just said it. Te deportaron a los que 18 años?
Yeah.
Or 18?
Yeah, well, the deportation 17, was like around there,
That's very young, you know, y para estar viviendo aquí casi toda tu vida y que un día te diga, ¿saben qué? Te tienes que ir y te vas a mover a un lugar que a lo mejor ni conoces. I'm sure that was very fucking traumatizing for you. Pero lo lograste. Mira todo lo que has logrado. Thanks to getting deported, you were able to create such a beautiful thing que es BeautyyBird.
Yeah.
Amigas, todos sabemos that money can't buy happiness, but not worrying about your money comes pretty close. That's where Chime can help you smile more. They were just named the #1 most loved banking app with payday up to 2 days early and fee-free overdrafts up to $200. You heard that right. They offer financial peace of mind to your wallet. All of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. I personally love Chime because todos sabemos que a veces te quieres comprar algo, amiga, pero el cheque te llega el viernes. But with Chime, you get your check up to 2 days earlier. See for yourself why Chime is so loved at chime.com/Alan. That's chime.com/ALANN. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank and Stride Bank, N.A., members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depend on payer. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. See chime.com/spotme. Chime was the 2021 #1 most downloaded banking app in the USA according to Apptopia. Como estábamos hablando ahorita, ya tienes que se puede decir casi 10 años de trayectoria en lo que es aquí en las redes sociales. ¿Qué sientes tú that was like that you have in you that has kept people attracted to you for that long? Because me and you know that in this industry, igual como uno puede subir, you guys, en 1-2 años, si they don't keep up, boom, so nadie. What do you think has been that sparking you?
I think just being true to myself and sharing my real life story with everyone and having that relationship of like having people to relate to my story or to me in some way, one way or another. And I've always have been so open about my ups and downs that I feel like that's why people continue to watch me. And as my family continues to grow and more, you know, bigger things keep happening, like they're just happy for me, and I feel like I've brought my audience to be like my family.
Como alguien que también te ha visto crecer en tus redes, yo pienso que tú también has sabido evolutionize with the time, because cuando empezaste tú eras puro, you know, makeup.
Yeah.
And as times went by, yes, you still do makeup, you're still very great at it, pero también you've been able to be like, you know what, ahorita la gente lo que está pegando is sharing your life. Yeah. Was it ever hard for you to be like, fuck, ¿sabes qué? Voy a sacar mis calzones al sol para que la gente me juzgue? Or was it just so natural to be like, you know what, I'm just going to share it all?
No, so for those that also don't know, when I first started, everything needed to be super like very neat, only English. You couldn't show anything of your culture or who you were as a person. Everything had to be pretty much, you could say, whitewashed, you know?
Literally,
No, literally, like a cookie cutter, like this type of girl, you know? But it wasn't until in one of my Get Ready With Me's that I accidentally, I guess, in one of my bloopers, you could hear the background music, and it was Spanish music. And so many people from there se agarraron como diciendo like, oh my God, like you actually
speak Spanish.
You speak Spanish, eres mexicana, this and that. And they got so happy that it made me feel comfortable in sharing a little bit more about me. And it wasn't until then that finally I started being one of the first YouTubers to really push out the culture boundary where you can be free to express who you really are online.
You know what's crazy that you touched that, because yo me acuerdo en el año de 2015, 2016, cuando I started producing content, yo ni hablaba, güey. Yo ni hablaba. My videos are just little makeup tutorials, little speed-throughs, literally, little get ready with me's, que la gente cuando sí hablaba, nomás hablaba inglés, y yo me creía bien pinche profesional with my little, I would literally take so many takes because I was like, fuck, I gotta sound like a Laura Lee, like a Manny MUA, like someone that's, or like, people that were doing it that were already big at the time, and you're like, fuck, they're so proper, maybe that's the only way to make it. You know what I mean? So yo pienso que también cuando uno miran our old videos, are like, no mames, esa es otra persona de la que miramos ahora. Pero it's crazy because llega un tiempo donde uno as a creator and just as a human being, you start realizing like, you know what? It is okay to be myself.
It was mostly because of the brands.
Yes.
The brands would not want to work with people, with YouTubers or content creators that were not speaking just English. Like, I felt like that's why we kind of felt like that restriction back in the day, because it was not normal. You couldn't speak Spanish, you know, or you couldn't show this or that about yourself, you know? And it wasn't until I said, you know what? Fuck this. You know? I'm going to be myself, and I'm actually going to say my story. And that's when I did my Draw My Life.
Oh my God, I remember that. That is so crazy, you guys. Porque tell me why I remember that video.
Yeah.
I literally remember that video because I feel like, if anything, from the people that I used to follow, because esos tipos de videos eran súper populares en ese entonces, but from the people that I followed, I feel like you were one of the few people that like I had seen done it. And I remember I tried to do a draw my life video and I couldn't fucking draw to save my life. Like starting off. And it was just like the whole storytelling of your story was like, wow. Like she's a Latina doing big things, because I feel like you were one of the few like Latin pioneers in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
Like for sure, 100%. And I feel like seeing how much you've grown, you know, we collabed in 2019.
Yes.
Y saben algo chistosito, you guys, que ahorita estaba pensando, I was telling her, we collabed in February.
Yeah, February.
She gave birth to Jaylene in November of that same year. So cuando nosotros estábamos firmando our little mukbang, our little, that back then when you had your Sigma collab, ella estaba embarazada y ni ella sabía, amigas.
I know.
How do you feel like motherhood has changed your life?
Oh my God, it's changed it in so many ways, in so many beautiful ways, I want to say, because now I understand more of my mom, why she was the way she was. I feel like it also kind of fulfilled me in a way that I felt like I needed that. And it's just been so beautiful.
Was there any differences with your first pregnancy and your second?
Oh yeah, definitely. There were two completely different pregnancies.
Yeah.
The first one was a little hard because, first of all, I was scared as fuck.
And it was your first one?
Yeah, it was my first one. I was scared as fuck. And I kept thinking like, oh my God, ¿qué tal si lo pierdo? Lo que sea. Because I actually shared it very early on. And I wanted to share that whole experience because I had been struggling. And so when I finally got pregnant, I wanted to share it with the world. But then I kept it in my head, back of my head, like, what if I have a miscarriage, or what if I'm like, I was always
scary.
scared.
Yeah.
And as I continued my pregnancy, I started realizing like, okay, this is not as fun as people paint it to be.
Especially on social media. Yeah.
I started having sciatica pain, and I hadn't heard anyone talk about that before.
My God, I don't even know what that is.
No, it's such a pain here.
In the back, the lower back. Okay,
And it goes all the way down to your leg, and it's painful. You could barely talk. You can barely walk.
She's like, you can barely do anything. Where she just doesn't want to do anything. She's like, Valentina, I can't do anything.
I know. But no, it was really hard to walk or sit for long periods of time. Like, you had to do so many stretches to kind of make yourself feel better. Thankfully, I didn't go through any nausea or any of that, like the vomiting. But with my second pregnancy, I did.
You did?
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, I had different experiences with
Were you scared when you got pregnant the second time? You're like, ya me va a regresar el pinche dolor.
I was a little scared because I was like, I really hope I don't have to go through that, because it really restricted me from doing a lot of things and enjoying my pregnancy, because I felt like I was always in pain.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, you know what? Like, mejor no hubiera tenido ni sexo, ¿eh? Do you feel like your relationship with your husband has changed in a positive way because now you guys are a family?
Yes, it has changed for the better. I feel like now we really try to make that time of like connecting with each other, because I feel like once you have kids, it's really hard to find that time with your spouse. So now we intentionally try to find that time to really connect and really know why we're in this together, especially to try and make the environment for our daughters a safe and loving environment, because that's important. And I always say this in my social media, like, it's always important to have that relationship with your spouse as your priority, because once you have that, boundary set, your daughters will have that example of what really a love is.
And we're actually talking about her daughters, about how Jaylene talks so proper. Too proper. I'm like, girl, habla mejor que yo. Like she can literally sit down here and interview her mom. But it's crazy because, yo pienso que también el tipo de contenido que tú haces ahora te da más libertad de be able to work and be with your family, because now vlogging is such, a different format of video creating, that like now you don't have to sit down in the studio and do a 2-hour makeup tutorial y ignorar a todo el mundo. Now it's like, voy a ir acá, me llevo la cámara, and I'm able to be with my family. Do you feel like because of that, has it been hard for you as a creator to be able to balance being a mom, a daughter, and all the above? Because it's like, fuck, when is it the good time to film and when it's like, for me moments?
It has been hard, and I know, like, I have lagged a little bit in creating content, because back then se me hacía muy fácil. Like, I had nobody to take care of, just myself, and it was easy to grab the camera and just like film a YouTube tutorial or whatever. But now, like you said, with vlogging, it's so much easier because now I can get to have that time with my family and enjoy those moments while having the camera there rolling. But at the same time, I also don't want to share too much anymore because then I also start thinking about my daughters, like their privacy, like maybe they don't want to see this in the future. I don't know. I start overthinking a lot of things.
Do you feel like you always have like a line that you draw where it's like, okay, what's good to post? It gets too much.
Yeah, there is that line because now that my daughter, my firstborn, right, she understands and gets what we're filming. I ask her first, like, do you want to film this? And if she says yes and she's down for it, okay, great. If she doesn't feel like it and she's not in the mood or will start crying or whatever and I know it, I'm not going to film it. And so I feel like I can now tell what I can.
Hey everyone, les quiero platicar de La Semanal. La Semanal, aka The Weekly, is your weekly destination to discuss all things Latin pop culture, hosted by Jessica Flores and Christian Acosta. Each week, they're diving deep into what's driving the latest conversations in Latin music and culture. From the trends to the artists to keep on your radar. Hear exclusive interviews from artists you love about their paths to success, iconic moments in their career, and everything in between, including their take on what you should know about Latin culture. This is how you stay in the know. With the wide range of styles and cultures that influence Latin music, the genre's impact is felt everywhere, and La Semanal covers it all. Jessica and Christian are taking you inside the minds of your favorite artists like never before. I love La Semanal because I get my weekly dose of Latin music and culture. Listen to new episodes of La Semanal on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcast. All right, so Birdy Lashes. So en diciembre de 2020, you guys, lanzas tu marca Birdy Lashes.
Yes.
Que empezó con puras pestañas, pero poco a poquito ya está creciendo. Apenas acabas de lanzar your first mascara.
Yes.
How was that? Cuéntame cómo empezaste con la idea que quiero salir con una marca, especially en una comunidad de belleza donde ya hay muchas.
It's been a long journey. So even like going back to my Draw My Life video, I manifested that I wanted to have my own beauty brand. Yeah. What was it at the time? I didn't know, okay? But I did know that I wanted to do something in the beauty industry. Mm-hmm. And as I continued, and I started seeing you when you launched your lash brand.
I'm like, failed.
No, but when I saw you, Anna from Dose of Colors, I don't know if you remember, she launched lashes first. That's kind of like the spark that started giving me into trying to design what I wanted for my brand, and then it was lashes. I knew it was always going to be lashes at that time, and it wasn't until finally once I had my daughter that it just gave me that big push. Yeah, that I was like, you know what? I have already gone back to my Draw My Life video and checked off all of these like lists.
Except this.
Yes. Except this. And I don't want to go with my life without even trying it or showing to her that, if you have that dream, you can go for it and you can really make any dream possible. So I was like, you better start this, because si no, ¿cómo le vas a enseñar a tu own daughter? So that's why it made me push out Birdy Lashes. And
what do you feel like in an industry that's so saturated, especially in the beauty world? Porque ¿cuántas marcas no hay? Pero ¿cuántas successful brands hay?
Yeah.
Muy pocas. And I feel like your brand has become a successful brand so quick. 2 años.
Yeah.
And it's become, such a staple, especially in our community. What do you think sets you apart from every other brand?
I've always said this to a lot of small business owners, that whenever you want to start your own business, you have to look at the real branding reason of why you want to start this brand and how you want to set yourself apart from all the other ones. And for me, it was always that I wanted a brand that was always going to be luxurious, but at the same time affordable and accessible to everyone, and at the same time representing my culture through it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like not a lot of brands right now in the lash industry, I guess you could say specifically, haven't really shown that cultural moment.
If they do show that cultural moment, you can tell it's just a cash grab for that season. And you can tell with your brand that it's literally embezzled into your whole brand. And it's literally a part of Birdy Lashes.
Yeah.
Literally. like if you think of Birdy Lashes, like en verdad puedes contar toda tu historia con tu marca. And I feel like that's something that you've been able to do so good with it that's why it's been such a success.
Yeah.
And ¿dónde te miras tú en 5 años con la marca?
In 5 años, oh my God. Well, I hope that it can be already finally in stores. That's a huge dream of mine, which we're like in the works of like talking with different retailers, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet because I'm like, I still want to see what it can do on its own. And just really expanding it to other products, honestly.
So ahorita it's family owned?
Yes.
Family ran and everything. How's that? How is it like being able to, you know, make this dream come true and being able to have your family que te respalda y que te ayuda and they're in with you in this ride?
It's been such a beautiful thing because I can literally say this is part of our family, you know, like it's just that. And I am happy to say that my husband's my business partner. A lot of people always ask me like, what does he do? Like, even though he has his own thing going on, but at the same time, part of one of his roles is being my business partner with Birdy Lashes. And if it wasn't for him, honestly, Birdy Lashes would not be a thing.
Yeah,
honestly.
you're like, I would give up. me.
Yeah, no, it's so hard because it literally takes a village to run a brand. Yeah. Like, I can't do this by myself.
And then on top of that, you have to make sure that BeautyyBird content is going up.
It's going up, yeah. So it's like a whole different thing. So it's like a lot of different hats, but I'm so blessed to have my family support and everything in there.
Sí se mira que tienes a toda tu familia involucrados en todo lo que haces. And I feel like that's a big reason for your success because, you know, you've created this huge empire, but you're the type of person, nomás con mirarte, that it's like, okay, I've created this all. Which you can say kind of by yourself because like people follow you for you, but you've been able to bring in all your family with your success. Like tú te dan mucho, tú puedes darle un poquito acá, un poquito acá, un poquito acá. Do you think being that giving has made you be so successful?
Yes, definitely. Like I always don't want to just feel like, oh, I did this by myself, like no sé qué, because I have to give credit where credit is due. Like if it wasn't for my husband, my mom, my dad, all the people around me in my life, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am.
You're like, even thanks to ICE for deporting me, right? Like, not even like that, but like,
no,
in a way, porque gracias a eso empezó this journey that like, maybe 10 years ago, like you said, you were going through depression, you were going through all this, but gracias a eso, tu vida ahora es algo diferente y es algo que nunca en tu vida en ese momento específicamente, te vieras imaginado.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
And it's crazy that you say that because I have always said this, like it was a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
It truly was. And in the moment, like you said, maybe I didn't understand it. I didn't know why I was going through that. But I also didn't question myself as to why me? Like, ¿por qué? Because I know that so many millions of people are going through the same similar situation. And it breaks my heart knowing that till this day right now, people are still being separated, you know? Yeah. And it breaks me because I know that feeling. And I don't over wish it upon anyone to be broken in like or separados. Pero it's so sad.
It is. It's crazy because I've gone through that like firsthand too with one of my siblings que ya tiene 4 hijos, and just seeing like lo que le hace eso a una familia, it's just like, oh my God, ni a mi peor enemigo le deseo eso, because it's literally so sad that like un día puedes tener todo y pensar que like estás secure in your home, and then the next day you're like, you're not. You know what I mean? Ya hablando bien, ya mirando todo lo que has cumplido en tantos años, como hemos dicho, what's something that you now, as someone that has done so much, you can tell Yasmin 10 years ago? The Yasmin from 10 years ago.
You're going to make me cry.
I'm like, que llore, amigas. El propósito. The thumbnail.
No.
Yasmin BeautyyBird cried.
No, well, what was the question again?
She's like, I didn't want to cry that much. No, que es algo que ahorita tú ya, como una mujer very successful y con todo lo que tienes, what's something that you can tell Yasmin from 10 years ago?
That it'll all be worth it. That it'll all be worth it. Be living in the moment, because that's what I tell myself and everyone else now, that live in the moment, un día a la vez, and with that grateful heart. You don't know in the blink of an eye how crazy your life can change, but it truly can, and to never stop dreaming.
Period. No, en verdad, eso sí es muy cierto, porque un día te sientes acá y sin esperártelo, sin saber lo que la vida te trae, mañana estás acá. And I feel like you have to be able to be grateful for the downs to be able to appreciate your highs.
Yeah.
Tu historia is a great example of like resilience.
Yeah.
Porque tú, en un momento, tú has de haber pensado like, no, pues aquí ya se acabó mi vida, yo no voy a hacer nada y mírate ahora.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like estás poniendo a great example not only for the people that are watching you, but for your daughters.
Yes.
Que si tú pudiste, si su madre pudo con todo lo que came at her, ellas también pueden.
Yes.
All right, you guys, so ya de platicar un poquito, ya estamos approaching the end of today's episode. Y antes de que te deje ir, quiero saber what is next for BeautyyBird. ¿En qué te miras haciendo in a couple months, in the next year? What do you see yourself doing and accomplishing? ¿Y qué puede esperar la gente allá en casita que te sigue y te ama?
Oh my God, I hadn't even thought about this.
You're like, I don't know, I'm just living day by day. Me.
No, literally,
Yeah.
I'm just taking it one day at a time, and just I hope, you know, to continue being on this platform for many, many more years. I don't ever want to go from this platform. That was such a big blessing to me. And I just hope to continue growing also Birdy Lashes.
I can't wait to continue seeing you grow. It's been a pleasure seeing you grow. Es lo que les digo también, uno no sabe con el transcurso del tiempo. I was telling her that when I was checking back on her old video when we collabed, it almost seemed like we had filmed that shit like 5 years ago.
Yeah, like forever
Because
ago.
I've seen her do so much. It was just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, you have your brand, you have 2 daughters, a beautiful No mames, amiga, ya. Ahora ya me siento como que yo no estoy haciendo nada con mi vida.
No.
¿Qué estoy haciendo mal? Me voy a embarazar.
Don't ever feel like that.
No, but honestly, like, it's crazy and it's
Yeah.
amazing and it's so inspiring seeing what you've accomplished, what you've done for yourself, for your family, and just for everyone around you. And I'm so happy to be able to see that. And espero que ustedes allá en casita también están súper inspirados. I'm going to go ahead and leave all her social medias aquí para si ustedes la quieren mirar. They're going to appear on the screen and also linked down below. Y también no se les olvide to follow me on all my social media so you guys won't miss any future episodes. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.